The road to 1,000 subscribers continues now, but this time we're talking about wrestling. We're going back to the basics on Sportswire. Yes, it's finally time to talk about for what's good going on right now in the backyard in the underground wrestling circuit. And boy, do we have something good to talk about, especially in the world of BTW. And our guest here is no stranger to Sportswire Radio. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, again, I know I'm not the BYW hub. I know I'm not Copper Dragon. But what I just watched at BTW All Out War 2 in the main event might have been pound for pound the best feud in BYW this year. Certainly that promo package, the hype between it, all that different stuff was really something I don't think I saw anywhere this year. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about that match that, let's say, I'm still watching over and over and over when I'm not doing Instagram lives, thank God. But certainly our guest has very well proven, you might want to say, that maybe he's the current GOAT of BYW, especially after what he did and annihilating the one and only RJS. I mean, I guess I might have to wonder, has RJS gotten up from a neuron bomb? And I'll certainly talk about that. I'll certainly talk about what's going on in the world of BTW. We got a big show coming up Tuesday. I have an announcement related to BTW, plus who knows whatever else here. We are, after all, in prime time, the brightest lights, the biggest stage, the only platform where all wrestling does matter. And our guest here is certainly on the right side of history, and he is on the right side of BYW history, especially after what he did at All Out War on Monday. So, ladies and gentlemen, he was the first triple champion at one time to come onto Sportswire Radio. He's still a double champion. I know RTG is out there. We'll definitely talk about him. I have no doubt he always comes up. But it's time to give our guest that championship-like introduction, since after all, he is proving time and time again why he very well could be that interpromotional god. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's get right to it on a Saturday night. So, with that, wait for it. Fire down here on the Sports But number one, Gable Show. He's currently the ring defending BTW TV champion and the BYW Interpromotional champion. His name is Sam The double champ is here. Are we
Damn
doing?
straight.
Yes, definitely. Good to see you, and congratulations, first of all.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that so very much.
Boy, first of all, I have to ask you, I mean, how did you fight? We're going to watch the match again here on Sportswire, but how in the heck were you able to fight after what you went through in that match with RJS? That's what I first want. I know our commentator that was calling the match out there, who shall be named nameless here, that we kind of know has been in BYW for a while, but how on earth were you fighting through everything you were put through with RJS? That's what I got to ask.
Well, I got to simply put it as this. As you were saying before, as you were saying in the very beginning of this episode,
yes,
I want to be the greatest backyard wrestler of all time. And that is the only thing that has kept me going throughout all of this pain, throughout all this trauma, throughout all this hardship, throughout all of it. It is the only thing. that is keeping me going straight through all of this. Going through people like Swift, going through people like BES, and going through people like RJS. Some of the best backyard wrestlers in the yard.
Absolutely. Pound for
It's
pound. Pound for pound,
it's the
too.
only thing keeping me going. And the real truth of the matter is the real truth of what is keeping me going is the fact that now I know I'm better than them.
You know, it's interesting. We're going to certainly watch the match on the screen. I know people are tuning in. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in and bearing with us. The champion obviously had to do autograph signings. He had to do press conferences. He had to do, obviously, things that a champion would do, especially with a company like BTW and all the success. But, I want to ask you this question. It's funny you say that you want to be the best all time in BYW. And, it's actually kind of the perfect storm in a way right now, because if you think about it, some of the names right now in BYW, Jack Delta's on the shelf right now. So his story's kind of written for now. And, certain guys have gone in and out of the backyard wrestling circuit. And maybe it is your opportunity. Maybe it is your time to go up and be on the top of the Mount Rushmore. Maybe it is your time, especially with your run. Do you feel like also, in a way, Comatose, the way things have kind of set up for you over these past few months, and especially what you did at All Out War 2, that maybe there is a perfect storm kind of aligning, and you could maybe be that guy that could be the greatest of all time and maybe the best right now in the circuit? What's your thoughts on that?
My thoughts are this simply. I do believe that there is a perfect storm happening for me to be the best of all time right now, specifically because, of course, you have Jack Delta going out with his unfortunate injury, which, praise to you, brother. I do hope you have a speedy recovery. You are one of the best in the yard, and it is very unfortunate that I don't have competition like that. I think that's unfortunate, along with other events that have been taking place within the backyard wrestling community that I'm not going to speak further on because, of course, it's had a negative impact.
I'd like to move on from it personally myself. I feel at this point, I think Thursday the book was closed on it, and that chapter's written, and it's time to get to the good now. It's time to
get
move
to
on.
the good, exactly.
Yeah, it's time to move on.
But if I can say this, here's
you can
one.
Say anything you want. Anything you want.
I went through a period of backyard wrestling where stuff like that was very, very normal, where people that were the age that I was when I first started out in backyard wrestling, which would be about 16 to 15 years old, right?
Okay.
The entire fan base was like that. There were very, very, very high respected personnel that were like that. There was a whole bunch of people that were like that, and I'm not going to get into further details of what I'm talking about, but what I am simply going to put is this. Me and the group that I was working with back then, we fought through it then. And while they may all be gone and have faded off into the sunlight now, I am still here fighting against it. And it doesn't matter how bad it gets. It doesn't matter what happens in this community, because I am here to inspire the next generation, and I am here to keep the current generation hopeful.
Absolutely.
That's what matters.
100%. And I agree. I think we're going to be fine. I think that a lot of people were, obviously in agreement, and we'll do fine. But, I want to ask you something else. I know there's a lot of people in the chat. I want to put the matchup with RJS, but it's funny because I've known you for about 4 or 5 months now, and you came on Sportswire about 3 months or so ago, give or take. And it's kind of almost like you've had 100-mile-an-hour fastball come at you with all these things. And, first we talked about this amazing comeback you've had. Now we're talking about you as maybe the guy that's pound for pound the very best in the backyard wrestling circuit at the moment. Do you stop, especially, let's talk about the good in a sense, these last 48 to 72 hours. Let's go on that, right? Do you stop and say to yourself, with the way everything is kind of falling into your favor, that you went from a guy 5-6 months ago, you did this video package before that for the comeback, the journey. You're away from this circuit. You talked about your own experiences, your own basically frustrations, leaving the backyard wrestling scene, coming back here. And, it's really one of the greatest comeback stories I could think for one wrestler. For all of a sudden, a guy that's trying to find a place to now you're in a promotion that's had a lot of success, a lot of big names. You've beaten these big names, and you went from a guy just trying to stay in shape, make a comeback, to now all of a sudden being, maybe you are the best. Maybe you are pound for pound on that path to being with some of those names. Do you stop in these last 48 to 72 hours and kind of think of all this and how the stars have kind of aligned?
I do. And I simply stop for this reason.
Sure.
Because 4 years ago, I had a complete and utter halt to what I was hoping would be my career that is today. And it was very disheartening. It was very hard to get through. Personally, professionally, publicly, however you want to put it. It was very, very hard to get through that time in my life. And the fact that I have come from just me editing a few videos in my bedroom, being creative in my own twisted mind, to what I am now today, which is your backyard wrestling interpromotional champion, your BTW television champion. And not only just that, but the very best in BTW. It's unfathomable. I wouldn't have even been able to imagine where I'm at today. And me back then would be patting myself on the back right now, because I am very aware of the fact I've had little to no training to make a comeback like this.
It's a wild story. It really is. Just, you take a step back. You went from a guy that hadn't been in the circuit for 4 years to now all of a sudden I'm talking to you today on October 5th, 2024, after what has happened in backyard wrestling in the last 48 to 72 hours. But even in the last, I would say, 2 weeks with all the injuries. I mean, Darkron has his story, Jack Delta, obviously, what's going on, and two federations the last 48 to 72 hours. And now it's you, Comatose. You very well could be that man standing, and it's an unbelievable journey. It's just, I mean, I would even say in sports, I don't know if there's a kind of a story like this. I mean, it's just really, it's unbelievable.
And it's hard to put into words how I feel about it, because honestly,
Sure.
At some points where I've been going along this journey, especially of recent, I don't necessarily feel like I deserve it. Because
Why do you say that for?
while I do know that I have put in the work, and while I do know that I went through the hardship, and while I do know that I have put in the quality amount of matches, can I really sit here and call myself the greatest in the yard right now, when the true greatest in the yard is on the shelf because of an injury?
But you can't listen. In basketball, once upon a time, Michael Jordan retired, and the Houston Rockets won 2 championships. Then he retired again, and the Los Angeles Lakers and the San Antonio Spurs. You're a basketball guy, won championships, but you can't say, well, those championships don't count. Comatose right now, if Jack Delta's on the shelf, it doesn't matter. Comatose just beat Swift. He's beaten BES. He's beaten RJS. So, and you've beaten Steven Storm in between. You've beaten all these guys that, they're no slouches. You talked about it yourself. To me, to be honest, I mean, it doesn't matter if he's out or not. You're the guy right now. You might be that guy.
And I really appreciate that. And honestly, I'm going to agree with you that I think that I am that guy right now. But from a competitive standpoint, as Michael Jordan himself would talk to you in this manner.
Yes, sir.
Can you really call yourself the best without beating the best? And while Jack Delta may be out, and while I may have this fortunate for myself, but unfortunate for him, of course, and unfortunate for other people that I'm not going to name out of pure respect.
Sure.
I can't call myself the best quite yet. while I do think it is a fact that I am the best, and while I do think that all the facts are leading up to me being the best,
Mm-hmm.
personally, I can't sit here with my own spirit and call myself the best without beating those names. Because while I was gone for 4 years, they were holding this community down and they were making it into what it is today. Without people like them, there wouldn't be anything like there is today. There wouldn't be any giant platforms like Sportswire. There wouldn't be any giant companies like ESW or ROEW or anything like, or even BTW. There
Oh,
wouldn't
well,
be any.
BTW is the company you work for.
Yeah,
RTG is in the chat, by the way. I would certainly make sure you mention BTW.
yes, of course. There wouldn't be anything like that. So
Yes.
those are the OGs.
Sure, sure,
So
sure.
while I am the new GOAT, did Roman Reigns become the greatest of this generation without beating John Cena, or did he simply beat John Cena to become the greatest of this generation and have that torch passed on to him?
It's an interesting thought. I mean, certainly interesting, but I think there's no question. And I want to talk about BTW in a second. I'm going to put the BTW information up in a second. But at the end of the day, listen. I mean, you've faced some really good opponents. I'm in the BTW chat every Tuesday. We have another show coming up 6 o'clock here. I know Zilla's in the house. Zilla and I are always watching the BTW shows. BTW for me right now has become, I would think, it was anyway at that point, but it's now one of my favorite shows. Along, you mentioned ROEW. Those are my go-tos right now. If I got go-tos in the backyard, Underground's a different ball game, but in the backyard, my go-tos right now are ROEW and BTW. And I think what you guys have done, the opponents that you have beaten here over these past few months, it's certainly quite a journey here. Let me ask you, though, this one more. Let's go to BTW for a minute. I'm going to put the BTW stuff up in a second. And what do we do from here now? We got a big show coming up Tuesday. Very excited about Tuesday's show. And you now have to follow up what you did with RJS. There was no question. You put so much into that emotionally, certainly physically. I'm still wondering how you're recovering from that. But where do we go from here this Tuesday?
Okay, so where we go from here
Yes, sir.
is this. I have to beat someone that is better than RJS, or I have to beat someone that is the top or was the very top of said company that they came from. So there is only two names that come to mind, three names actually, that come to mind that I need to have a match with and I need to have a victory over. And that would be RTG. For obvious
He's
reasons.
here. He's here. You know he's here, by the way.
Yeah, because just to shut his ass up and just for the simple fact that because of the fact that I lost against him, I have no wins over him as in my entire career or his. And that simply cannot be what it is. Two, BES,
Obviously,
because I have never beaten BES, and in my opinion, BES is pound for pound. While I might be the greatest in the yard, he is pound for pound the most talented backyard wrestler in BTW. The things that he can do in the ring, the things that he can do on a trampoline, the things that he can do just on the
I gotta be
ground.
honest. He's you know what? It doesn't matter. I'm gonna say it on the air. Copper Dragon and I had a conversation about BTW, and I was telling him, he was asking me about BTW, and he gave me his blessing on this. So I'm gonna say it. This I can share. He was asking me about BTW. I said what these guys do. It doesn't matter what they're on. They're like video games. You guys are all like a video game out there, and he's the perfect example of that. I don't know how he does some of this stuff. It doesn't matter he could do it to me on asphalt. He could do it to me in a park playground. It doesn't matter what he does, and he's why he's a guy that very well may be, like you said, at the top of the list in terms of overall in-ring ability.
Yeah, absolutely. And that's a guy that unfortunately I could not get over. That's a guy that unfortunately that there is a hump that I could not climb
And RJS mentioned against the family, you hadn't beat the family.
Yes. So RJS would be the first member of his family that I have beaten, which means in order for me to, like we were saying earlier, be truly the greatest in the backyard, I would need to beat simply the best talent in BTW, which is BES. While I have beaten the very biggest and brightest name in BTW, which is RJS, he got that name for a different reason. Real backyard wrestling fans and real underground wrestling fans, when they watch BTW and they watch BES, you see that raw talent, you see that raw passion, and you see that, and you simply think, how far can you take a kid like this, and what could he become? And to have a victory over somebody like that in your repertoire, not only does that put you head and shoulders above any competition that could ever come to be or ever has been, but that goes to further prove that if that match was a 5-star classic, that goes to further prove that that is the best pound for pound talent in BTW, and I need to beat him.
All right, let me ask you one more question. By the way, this is the thumbnail for episode 138, right? And thank you, RTG, for telling us if you do want to join on the YouTube channel. I'm going to put the link up in a second. You can actually get a chance to watch the show early. So if you'd like to do that before Tuesday at 6 o'clock, you're welcome to do it. Although I think you should be in the chat with me at 6 o'clock on Tuesday, because I know RTG and we're going to see each other in the chat on Tuesday. And I think, Zilla, you're going to be in the chat also. So I would like to see some of the talent and watch it. But if you would like to, obviously, join, definitely do that. And I know, by the way, Mr. Comatose, very soon I might actually be wearing some BTW paraphernalia for the next appearance you have on Sportswire. Not going to say anything further, but just going to say that you might finally be seeing some BTW paraphernalia on yours truly. But let me ask you this. Do you feel in a way, yeah, it's funny, right? I'm trying to get back to stand-up comedy, but for the good reasons. But question, do you feel like that you have to beat every single member of the family?
While I am in this company, yes. Because here is the simple fact of that matter. Without that family, what would BTW be? Without me being,
I don't think they exist.
Yeah, they wouldn't exist at all.
They don't exist.
They wouldn't exist at all. That family made BTW into what it is today. And me beating RJS, while that might be the greatest accomplishment I could have beating that family, is it really when RJS, in my opinion, and it's going to piss him off. But I don't care. Is it really an accomplishment when his younger brother is the more talented?
But you talked about it in the hype packages between the two of them.
Yes. Is it really an accomplishment beating the quote-unquote face of the company when the face of the company is only the quote-unquote face of the company because he has all the promoting power, as opposed to the actual one that is actually beyond a shadow of a doubt the most talented person there? I don't know. I think I'd rather beat the person that's actually the most talented person there as opposed to the person that's just been talking shit on my name for 4 years. And
RTG took one championship away from you, and you've talked about BES, and there still has to be something that you personally would like to be able to beat every family member. I mean, there's something
definitely.
You know that you're a sports guy. I see you in my sports streams. There is something about beating every single family member of BTW.
Definitely. In my opinion, the job is not done until I beat RTG in BES. It won't be done because this is not only RJS's company as much as he likes to gloat for it being. It is also RTG's. It is also BES's. And if I don't beat them, then I cannot be the best in Oregon.
That's an interesting point. Let me ask you one more question on 138, and I'll put the match up here. I know there's a lot of people that do want to say hello to you, which I do want to get to them, and thank you, everybody, for tuning in. But what do you think happens in this Loser Leaves brand match coming up?
Ooh, Loser Leaves brand. Okay, so I don't imagine that the best in BTW are going to just simply fall to the best in another company simply because they walked on their turf and decided to show their testicles. I don't think that's how it's going to go. I think what's going to I think that what's going to happen is that the best in BCW are definitely going to beat the best in BCF. But I don't think the BCF are going to abide by the terms that they have given through this match. I do feel like they are going to make it very hard to leave the company for BTW and their management. And it's going to be a spectacle for the world to see.
I just think it's interesting. How are the egos of RJS, BES, and Swift going to be able to? How are they going to be able to coexist?
I think for one night it could work. I feel like if it was like a faction, they would implode absolutely, just for the simple fact that they have so much ego, of course.
That's why I asked that question. How do they coexist?
For one night, for BTW's sake, for the future of BTW, because what is on the line is if BTW's top 3 boys lose against BCF's top 3 boys, BCF would then have full ownership of BTW. So, with that being on the line,
you might like that though, in a way. You might be happy about it.
I personally might like that, and personally maybe
RTG would definitely. I know he's here in the chat. He would definitely not like that.
No, he would not. And maybe personally I am rooting for BCF, but I do know in business terms, for RTG's sake and for the family's sake, I feel like since RJS has been on such a losing streak, he's going to pull something miraculous out. Since BES has been on such a hot streak, he's going to continue that hot streak. And since Swift has to continue having the edge that he has, I feel like the BTW boys have the advantage over the BCF boys, because the BCF boys are only here for one thing, and that is blood. Yeah. And if they can't get blood, what are they?
Yeah, and I think that they've had their own struggles, and I think that from a talent standpoint, you would obviously have to give the edge to BTW. So I think that those are some important things. We'll certainly see. That'll be Tuesday, 6:00 Eastern time, 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, and Comatose, it's Mountain Standard Time. And I always love when I talk BTW, because I got to remember it's Eastern Time, Mountain Time, Central Time, Pacific Time, because I think we have everybody on different times. I'm in the East. I know we have guys in the locker room, I think, who are on Pacific Time, Mountain Time, and Central Time. So hopefully there's no other 10 time zones.
Definitely. I know Swift. I mean, not Swift. Frost is on a different time than I am.
I think Frost is. You're on Mountain. Frost is on Central. You got the BCF3 and BTW with the RJS, BES. We're on Pacific. Yeah.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Crazy. Well, I'd like everybody to hit the sub button for our friends in BTW. First of all, please hit the sub button for them. If you are here for the first time, hit the sub button for me, because I may have lost some subscribers, but I think we're happy we lost some subscribers. But help me get some of them back. I'm still almost at 1,000 subscribers, so I appreciate everybody for tuning in and your support. So let's get to the chat here, because I want to talk about the match with RJS here. And I have a little surprise for you. Somebody who's a veteran that I'm sure you would respect. He will come on here in a little while, and he'd like to congratulate you on your support. It's a good thing. Trust me, this is a good one. Definitely, he's on the right side of history, so trust me on that. But my buddy, yes, you'll be happy. My buddy Ox McCoy, Ox and I speak all the time. He is always happy to be here, and definitely want to be on his good side, because he reigns in blood, sends his message in blood, and he's bound in blood. Zilla, who I mentioned, says hello to both of us. Thank you, Zilla, as always, for your support. Zilla was even listening to me talk baseball yesterday, which I have no idea why, but that's okay. My man Comatose, what's up? How you doing? Yes, there he is. Mr. RTG is in the house. The aforementioned Jacob Frost, by the way, who got a much-needed win at All Out War 2. What do you think about Jacob Frost's future, by the way? I know we're going to hear from him on Tuesday. What do you think about Jacob Frost, by the way, who I, by the way, have an announcement for before you do that? He's here Tuesday night, 10:00 Eastern time. Jacob Frost is here Tuesday night.
Here's what I think about Jacob.
All right, give it to me.
So, I love Jacob. Jacob was one of the only reasons that I actually came to BCW, and it's an unfortunate event that I haven't had the pleasure of facing him one-on-one yet. But I do think, with the slump that Jacob's been on, he needs to continue to win every single match from here on out. Because if he does not, is Jacob Frost really Jacob Frost, or is Jacob Frost just a name that he has put himself out to be for the public view? Is he
Good
simply hype, or is he actually Jacob Frost?
Well, he's here for really one thing still. He's still here for one thing.
He
That's
is
Swift.
here. He is here for one thing, and that may be Swift. But as we saw when he had a match with Swift, that very mindset clouded his judgment so much that he couldn't finish the job. And now, the score between them is 2-2, as he was dreading it being 2-1, where he only had one loss against Swift. Now
he
it's
was
2-2.
he started 2-0. Right, he started 2-0 last year. We know what happened, and then not too long ago, now 2-2.
And that's only because of his obsessiveness. And I've been saying this since the multi-man match for the Intercontinental Championship. Your obsessiveness over one man is going to cost you everything. And what has it done ever since I have said that? It has cost you everything. You came back for one reason, to beat Swift. And what have you done? You've done exactly the opposite.
Nothing. It's a valid point, and obviously we saw that at the August Rush. And yes, hello Zilla, thank you as always. So is the two. Yes, we talked about that just now, Zilla. Thank you very much. Yes, and RTG confirmed that. So yes, we're all on the same page. RTG, I'm surprised he didn't call you Comatose though. I was thinking he would have said Comatose. I mean, you're happy he said congratulations, Comatose, but he
absolutely.
Congratulations.
That's a big deal coming from a small
man. You know what? I guess RTG has learned from the last few days, and maybe he's just, I don't know, being the bigger man. Maybe he's taking some accountability, unlike some other people out there.
Hopefully.
But I digress. It was a big win for you. It just wasn't as big a win as you could have had either over a BES or the G, baby. Oh, he's talking about himself now. He's referring to himself.
Oh, the G,
in the third. Boy, you want to talk about people in the third person now. Boy. Just met. Oh, Ox. Yeah, you missed the introduction, but you'll have to go back and watch. I thought it was a good one. Yes, the G, baby. Want to say hello to my buddy Nolan Money McDermott. Nolan is obviously from our friends over at STBW, and I know he was on the road. How we doing tonight? We're doing great. Back to normal. Things are looking up. Got a nice turnout. Everybody's happy, and talking wrestling now for the foreseeable future. Hopefully forever, because never want to talk about those things again. But I digress. Yes, prayers for Jack Delta. Yes, Jack's a good man. We've had the good fortune to have him on Sportswire many times, just like we've had the good fortune to have Comatose back and Nolan Money McDermott. Yes, thank you, Zilla. We're praying for Jack. We hope he's doing well. And RTG says maybe the third best in BTW. RTG, maybe maybe RTG's the best right now in BYW.
Oh yes, he is definitely the best with his antics.
He's been winning. He hasn't had to retire yet.
He has been winning, and I've also been winning without antics.
Well, that's a good. You know what? But win's a win. What is a win?
A win is a win. I mean, a win is a win. I can't say anything against that.
Duly noted. Touche. Obviously, thank you, Apex Predator, and sorry about your Phillies today. But James Taylor, speaking of people that might say hello to you in a little while. Yep, hello to James. James is doing well. I think James is doing very well. He's here. Hello, Zilla. Yes, thank you, RTG. I did confirm that. But what about someone you haven't faced yet, Comatose? I think you kind of alluded to one of them in my announcement for Tuesday showing Jacob Frost.
That would be the only person.
Now you've matched up with him though in a multi-person match,
yes,
not in a one-on-one match. Just to clarify that for the audience.
Yeah, like I was saying before, I haven't had the fortunate event of locking collar and elbows with Jacob Frost, but
yes,
I would love to do so, considering he's been having such a hard time with the BCF3, who I have just washed completely by myself.
Yes.
So I would definitely love to see how that would pan out, considering you are a legend in the yard.
Yes,
a washed legend in the yard, I would say.
Ooh,
just like RTG. But
RTG's winning though right now. He's got multiple championships.
And that's the point. RTG's winning, and you're younger, so that's a little embarrassing.
Wow. It's those guns. It's those guns that RTG has right now. It's those
Yeah,
guns.
it's the gun show for sure.
Well,
It's absolutely the gun show.
let's see who gets that there. Yes, shout out to Mama Comatose for buying memberships and donating to the channel. Yes, she's always in the chat. We appreciate that. We thank her for her support. Want to say hello to my buddy Shane Davidson. Hope you're doing well, my man. Doing good. I think a lot of things are on the up and up. We're having a nice show, having a lot of fun talking wrestling, and on a Saturday night, couldn't ask for anything better. Zilla says, if I want to become a trampoline wrestler, my dream opponents are Comatose, Jacob Frost, and RJ. So you're aware of that. Zilla revealed herself a few weeks ago on Instagram, right? You heard about this, right?
I am very aware of that, and I was very proud of Zilla for doing that. That takes a lot of courage to be able to do something like that.
Now she showed more courage than some people did the last few days.
Yeah, especially as a super fan like Zilla is. She's in every single backyard wrestling chat. That takes a lot of courage.
Yes, I see her in the ROEW chat. I've seen her in the BWDU chat. I've seen her in, obviously, our chat in BTW. I mean, she's everywhere.
So here's my thing, Zilla.
All right.
If you become a backyard wrestler, I will 100% face you.
Whoa!
100%.
Whoa! You want to talk about pipe bombs there? I would love to hear Zilla's reaction. I got a lot of people in the chat here. Hello to Shane. Want to say Shane Davidson? Yes. Want to say hello to my buddy Andre and Emily. I was speaking with Andre, I think, off the air on Facebook about Andre coming back. We had a very good conversation. I'm not quite sure what the popcorn yellow striped smile is, but thank you for tuning in. I have some more comments. I don't know, but it's okay. That comment I'll read off. It's fine. We move on. I do want to say this from RTJ. What does it say that I picked RJS over you, Comatose, especially off your? But it's a good point because shouldn't you have been on Team BTW? What's your thoughts on that? That's a great question.
Here's my simple answer to that. I am not signed to your roster.
Oh, I see.
Yeah. So here's my thing. Even if you were to offer me that, who is to say that I wouldn't screw over BTW and help BCF out? Because I am not a BTW competitor.
Even Storm was rooting for you over RJS in the promo.
Yeah, exactly. Every single one of the top BTW guys were rooting against me for RJS. So what makes you think, even if you were to pick me, that I would even help you out? Because here's the simple fact. All you have been doing since I have been here, RTG, is simply trying to shit on my name. Whether it be through the competition you're throwing at me, whether it be the stipulations, whether it be you in a match with me one-on-one and I have to fight two other fucking people just to get to you. It doesn't really entice me to help out your company when all your company has been doing is trying to screw me over.
Okay, clever, touche. BTW's RTG would like to say go Dodgers. I think the Dodgers and Padres are still playing. I see it in the background. So we shall see on that. My buddy Gabe Sayers, who is the owner of the TF Crew, he is also a staple, calls you hello, Comatose.
I love that. I think that's more creative than what RTG keeps saying.
Gabe is also I should give Gabe a big shout out because Gabe is now also, since obviously I've been having a lot of problems these last few days on Sportswire, Gabe is now also doing live streaming. He is the host of the TF Crew podcast. And Gabe, if you're looking for guests, I think Comatose would be a great guest. So, I mean, Gabe, maybe, Gabe, you should take over Sportswire from me because, obviously I want to stay away from all the drama the last couple of days. I've even had to bring up my police shirt again because I did take the NYPD test once upon a time. Maybe it's time for me to, move away from this and let a professional like Gabe Sayers kind of handle things. So maybe, Gabe, you should take over Sportswire for me. Let Gabe do the interviews. But Gabe, if you want to have an interview, I think with Comatose, that would be a great suggestion. I'll connect you both. Yes, hello there, Gabe. And Gabe does say hi to Zilla. Yes, hello to Nolan Money McDermott. We're happy about him. Yeah, it's a good point, Zilla. Why didn't you say hi to Gabe? Gabe on Sportswire for four different times. He's actually 5 times Gabe has been on Sportswire. And I've known Gabe for over a year. You should be saying hello to Gabe. And but I got a lot of comments. People are fired up right now. Maybe business. What's negative is good for business. Who knows? But let's not even go there. Hard time with the BCF3. Where wasn't that though? The prior show where Mr. Frost had lost to one of the BCF3 members. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He may have. I'm not paying too close of attention to Frost. But what I do know is that it hasn't been quite as easy as it has been with me for the BCF.
Okay. Clever. Touche. One takes two to tango. And RTG laughed. I don't know. What did you laugh at? What was funny? Okay. Zilla is the greatest of all time. We're not the GOAT.
Absolutely.
Listen,
not
Zilla,
even a debate.
Just give it all to Zilla at this point. I tell Zilla I'll exit stage left. We'll put Zilla and take over Sports.
I'm scared to face Zilla personally.
Yes. Let's see. I would love and react to appreciate BCF3. Sorry, Jacob Frost. Yeah, Gabe, I did actually agree with you on this, Gabe, because you've been coming on Sportswire. I've known you for over a year. So, yes, Gabe, you should definitely get a hello from Zilla. And Zilla, I think, already says she said hi to Gabe Sayer. She did say hi about that.
I already said hi to you, Gabe.
She said hi. Speaking of people that may say hi to you in a little while, Mr. James Taylor, I wonder how Comatose would react to have an opponent like the Nemesis. So how would you react?
I would be more than honored.
Well, you know what? You might get your wish in a little while. I want to watch your match with RJS. I want to talk about that for the audience, but you stay tuned. Yes, what's up, Gabe? There's the laugh. Terrible emoji. What's good, Sportswire? Yes, we have a lot to talk about. I think you're going to be here in about 2 weeks. Or so. We're going to Andre here. It was a funny emoji. So he was the one with the flowers and the different. Remember the comment he had with the weird emojis? Yeah, just move on. I know there's a lot of comments. Chat's popping. Yes, hello there. Tom was in 21
Jump Street.
I don't think I'm that. RTG, you would have watched that show. I mean, the reboot, maybe. I might have been in the reboot. But yes, I actually did take the NYPD test once upon a time. And I decided that I'd have to get a haircut and shave this off. Wasn't going to go into the police department.
I'd love to see that.
Yeah, actually, my godfather was a transit cop here in New York City. He was a transit cop. And my dad actually, one of his jobs in the 70s, he was actually a officer in Bellevue, very brief, which is like the mental psych ward in New York City. So I was like, Lord. I'll take the test, but after those stories, I'm good. I'll just learn something else. I'll go into politics for a little bit. That's okay. My background check's good for those jobs. I don't want to go and have a nightstick and go worry about if I'll make it out of. That was my godfather's story. He was in Rikers. I think he worked in Rikers, which is the big thing in New York City. And then it was a transit cop. And then he had something happen on the job, and he retired at in his 30s, and he just golfed all week for the rest of his life. Just put it that way. But I didn't get that job. But I'm on Sportswire with Comatose. I would rather be with Comatose on Sportswire instead of golfing. Let's move on here. Yes, what's up, Mr. Taylor? Zilla, why didn't you see any emojis? Speaking of people who had a hell of a match, my buddy Il Drago in the IMF. I got a chance to watch his match earlier today. How we doing, Ooses? I'm doing great. A lot better today. Today, I feel like back to normal. Today is back to normal. I slept for a long time. Got my voice back. Yes, I'm all right now. We're good. What is good, Andre? Good question. Let me get some more comments here. I eventually want to watch your match. I already addressed this issue the last time I was on Comatose. If you were wrestling in my company, you're signed. Maybe you're the demented old man. Are you old now? Are you old?
Oh, I'm
midlife crisis.
It just you think that's how it works. Yet you guys are the ones. You guys are the ones begging me to promote. That's how it works. That's how it works.
I don't know. I don't. You know what? I give up. I throw my hands up at everything in the world.
I ran a few companies myself, Mr. RTG. Yes. I could tell you this.
Georgia, you were in Georgia once upon a time. Yes,
I can tell you this. When I was running companies, I definitely begged my biggest stars to promote.
I see. Well, speaking to people who are here Tuesday, Comatose keeps dogging about 3 versus 1, but I got 3 versus 1, and it's all of a sudden I'm having more trouble. Okay. Yeah.
I got 3 versus 1.
Let's say hello here to Gabe Sayers. How you doing, Gabe? Yes, we saw hello to Gabe. Anthony Steele's in the house. What's good, everybody? We're doing good.
What up? A legend.
Everybody. Yes, you got a lot of big turnout here. Now people are getting fired up tonight because we're going back to wrestling now. We're talking wrestling. The reason you weren't picked was because you haven't ever beat me and the 3 of them have RTG.
Oh, do you mean in the entire time that the company's been around since 2015, they've beaten you one time? Wow. That's impressive, RTG. I'm so impressed that that's the criteria you have chosen to choose this damn team that they have beaten you one time since 2015.
I guess we have to go back and go check out the win-loss records. We'll have to confirm that in a little while. Yeah, we are definitely cooking tonight. Today we're having a nice little cooking here. Officer, but yeah, I didn't want to go and be a police officer. That wasn't my I just couldn't do it. I just did not want to be a New York City police officer. It just wasn't, I don't know. It wasn't in the cards for me. I mean, people used to tell me growing up, you could be a police officer. I'm like, no, I don't know. And I was like,
stressful as a New York
police officer. I didn't want to do it. You know what? I heard the stories and I was like, you know what? I think I'll go into something else. I don't think that I'm glad I didn't do that. I wouldn't be on Sportswire right now. But yes. Ox said pause. I'm not sure why we're pausing. Yeah, I'll see you soon, Anthony. Definitely see you soon. And we're looking forward to that. Hi to the new IMF champion. Yes, Anthony won technically yesterday. It aired last week, but yes, we'll do that. Let me come back to that. Yes, I see you. I'm going to see you on Thursday. Let me pull up this here. If we're being technical, RJS was the only one this season that got 1 versus 3.
This season,
correct.
Can we hold on? Can we repeat that last sentence one more time?
Okay, if we're being technical, RJS was the only one this
season.
This season, correct.
Okay, I just wanted to clarify that.
Okay, no. We're good. I don't know. Why are we pausing? Is there a reason we're pausing? Are we pausing? I don't know. We're paused. Okay, let me know what the pause is. All right, I think we're good. I want to put up the match, and I want to be able to plug some things here in the world of BTW. So let's go to that. First of all, if you are here for the first time and you're looking at BTW, go hit the sub button for BTW. Go hit the sub button. That's first of all. Hit the sub button for them. Okay, Ox had time in. Thank you, Ox. Okay, good to go. I was like, what did we say? But yes, that's BTW. Hit the sub button for them. Let's now, yes, definitely do that. Let's go to the match. Let's go to that. Let's put the volume down. I'm going to go like this. I'm going to go right into here. Let's go to entrance time. So let's go to the entrance. I'm going to put the big screen up.
Ooh, the man himself.
Now, talk to me about going into the match after everything you've went through. How were you able to deal with the personal animosity and to channel it enough to be able to focus on RJS?
Oh, man, I've been waiting for this question for a long time. I got to take my hoodie off for this question.
Is it cold where you are by now? I thought it'd still be warm. What's the temperature where you are right now?
So, unfortunately, I think it's dropping into the 50s.
Oh, all right. I thought it was like 20 degrees or something like that. Okay, it's not that bad. Okay.
25 degrees, yeah. Okay, never mind. I was lying.
25, never mind, yeah.
So I've been waiting for RJS for damn near a decade. So me going into this match, all the animosity, that was a part of the game. That was just a part of the chess game. I simply wanted to get into this man's head so he could hype himself up as this great BTW legend that's beaten people like Jack Delta,
Navon McDonald,
Maximus Roman, the list goes on. Mm-hmm. I wanted him to think that because here's the thing. Here's what I've been saying this entire time. Navon McDonald, that is absolutely a GOAT.
Yep. Oh, yeah, for sure. I was talking to somebody yesterday about Navon McDonald. Yep.
Not even a question. 100%. But here's the thing. Jack Delta was after my time.
Yep.
Aaron Blaze was after my time. So people like that, if you want to bring up big names that you've beaten of recently, congratulations, RJS. You've beaten Jack Delta. You've beaten Aaron Blaze. Congratulations. I don't think he's ever been in the ring with Aaron Blaze, but you being people of that magnitude.
Right.
Where did those people learn their shit from? Here's my thing. Spoiler alert. And I love Jack Delta, but Jack Delta wanted to be on BYW Mania when it was going on.
Yep.
And there's a very good reason why he wanted to be on that show. For the simple fact that it had the best of the best just competing all in one show. And RJS, I hate to tell you, bud.
You weren't on it.
No, he was on it. He was on a couple of them, but he wasn't on the last one.
The one that you were, was it the one that you were running, right?
No, that one, I just had the best opening match of any BYW show of all time. But it's the simple fact of this. Even if Jack Delta was a part of any of those shows, where do you think you would have ranked up against him?
I don't know.
As a person that is so prideful of beating someone like Jack Delta, as a person that is so prideful in his own abilities, would it have been disrespectful if you would have been an undercard to Jack Delta? Even in his starting out years, would that have been disrespectful? Because you find it so disrespectful that you are my undercard. As I'm saying right here to you, all this pain you've been giving me, so I want to give it back.
I was gonna ask you about it in that you had such a fast start to the match. Was that by design the way you guys kind of started in your? Were you trying to draw him into kind of a fast-paced offensive match? What was the strategy with that?
I was, because I've been studying RJS for years, whether he likes to think I have or not. I have been paying attention to RJS. I've been paying attention to RJS for almost a decade. And here's what I've noticed with RJS is that he likes to start the matches out very strong, as you're seeing right now. He's giving me suplexes, backhanding me to hell, just doing all these collar and elbow variants. He's pulling his bag out to simply beat someone like me who has had no pro training, who had a 4-year absence, and hasn't held a world title in damn near 6 years. But he's pulling out all the stops just to beat someone like me.
Well, he's also struggled this year in his own right. Do you think that played a role into that?
It might have, but is that really an excuse for the fact that I mean, he's been gloating about it forever. I mean, I've had a 4-year absence. I had 4 whole ass years where I was doing absolutely no physical work within backyard wrestling or any type of wrestling. But this guy, he's had pro wrestling training since I've been gone.
He traveled to a lot of places.
The best of the best, and just because this year he's been having a little bit of a slump, he wants to make that an excuse to why he couldn't have beaten me. No, RJS, you couldn't beat me because of what it would have been 6 years ago in 2018. I'm Comatose, and you are RJS. You were never good enough to beat me, and you never will be.
Do you think, in your opinion, that he underestimated you in any way?
Absolutely. I think he did. I think he did for the simple fact that he thought I wouldn't have been in enough cardio. I don't think he thought that I was in enough of a healthy enough cardio state to be able to have a match with someone like him, because of course he's pro trained. I'll give him that. He's been pro trained by a very great pro wrestler. He's been pro trained in a very great indie company, and he's had great matches against indie wrestlers.
He's a great talent. I mean, there's no question
I've
about
seen
it.
the footage myself that he is a great talent.
I've gotten a chance to know him a little bit the last couple of months. He and I, I could see his passion for wrestling when I speak with him.
Yeah, and even his idol, like that's a true pro wrestling idol, which was his idol would be Kurt Angle.
Yep.
So for someone like him that is so dived to depth into wrestling, I feel like it would be more than embarrassing to lose to someone like me.
He's throwing everything at you so far in this match. The moves off the trampoline.
His finisher, which is the Neuron Bomb, which we haven't even seen yet, but that's coming up very soon. He gave me a Neuron Bomb through the table.
Which you kicked out of, which is about, I think, in a couple of minutes from now. But I was kind of wondering, in terms of for the audience, that he puts you through a lot. His offensive ability, his high flying, his some of his technical, and also what we see as some of the hardcore. It is a street fight here after all for the audience, but he puts you through all of this, but yet you keep getting up. How were you able to do that?
Here's how I was able to do that. One, and this is the most important thing, it was against RJS, who has been a thorn in my side since 2019. And that is only because of the fact that between him and Joe Razor, they were the only two competition that I had for being considered the best backyard wrestler at the time. And now I'm here in 2024, and he's still on that mountaintop. And I'm just getting back. So I have something to prove. So I had to prove it against him. And not only that, but it's just this simple fact. You know how I live here?
Yes, sir.
I have to chop wood to stay warm.
Yes, I saw the video on Instagram.
I have to cut my own meat to eat. I have to shovel through 12-foot walls of snow just to be able to walk through my own goddamn yard.
You have a snow plower at least on that?
No.
No? No snow blower? Nothing? You just...
Nothing. Well, snowblower if I'm lucky. Okay. It's expensive, though. So most of it's just hand shoveling.
You would be so easy for you in New York. People get 3 inches in New York City. People are like, oh my God, like I'm going to die.
Yeah, like literally, like you have 12-foot walls of snow all around this town, and it's literally built for that being the purpose. Like this town is known as a Christmas town because of the fact of how they handle their winter activities. They build the walls of snow around the streets of the town so it looks like a snowy wonderland.
You live like a retro version of somebody, Mr. Comatose. You cut your own meat, you cut your own trees, you plow your path through. I'd be like, are we sure we're in 2024 with you? It almost sounds like you'd be somebody I read about.
Yeah, and that's the point. And that's the very point. Has RJS ever had to cut his own tree down for warmth? Has he ever had to kill his own animal to eat? Has he ever had to worry about the fact that anybody in the 10-mile radius that he's living in can know every single thing about his life and just spread it around to any other person around there?
I would say
has he ever had to worry about building his own machinery just to live? No.
Odds are no. Yeah.
Odds are no. Especially looking at this setting that we're wrestling in, right? You call it God's country.
It is God. I got to be honest. I think that this is the best setup any wrestling company that comes onto Sportswire has. It's unbelievable. You're on the top of it looks like a mountain almost, and the sun's shining, and just,
it looks beautiful.
Really, it's like, I'm from New York City, growing up in Brooklyn. This is the complete opposite of what I grew up in. This is like,
exactly.
It's God's country. I'm going to say it out there. This is unbelievable.
It's unbelievable.
Yep.
So you can only imagine the luxuries someone like that would have if he had the ability to wrestle, just not even just live, but to wrestle in a place like that. What type of luxuries does someone have to be able to even do that? Where does he live? How does he live? What does he eat? How does he eat?
You have to fight. See, this is what I get. You have to fight for it. He's been kind of handed to it. And I think that that's kind of what propelled you in this match here, is that he was putting you through everything. The finisher, the power bomb. But at the end of the power bomb, but the neuron bomb. And then, you being put through the table and the chair shots. But at the end of the day, it's what has fueled you to live and survive that kept you in this match to hang in despite everything he threw, but literally the kitchen sink to try to win this match.
At me. I had to fight to keep my job. I had to fight to be a butcher because that's such a covenant spot where I'm at.
Yes, yes.
I've
To
had
be
to
a butcher,
fight
yes.
every single moment of my life.
My
So,
father's friend was a butcher, actually. And it was actually like a really good job. He got into it at like the age of 16, and I think he's still a butcher like 40 years later. Plus, it's a
plus,
really good job. Yeah.
and that's because he made it, and that's
Yep.
because
Yeah.
he got there. And
Yep.
you want to know what? That's what I've been living my life on, is getting there, getting to the ability to have warmth, getting to the ability to have an 8-hour nights of sleep, getting to the ability to where I can comfortably travel to work, getting to the ability to where I can comfortably eat. This guy right here, I mean, look where we're wrestling right now. He has the sunset in the background, and he just got dropped by a uppercut. This guy
He's down and out. He hasn't been able to fight for it. And
at
sometimes in
all.
life, the
Look at his
moral
hair.
of the story is, yep, you
Not
have to
even
fight
just
for
that.
it.
Look at his haircut. He's got a bowl haircut. He's got the college kid haircut. The type
I'm not one to talk, by the way.
you're not one to talk, but you got a mountain man haircut. You got the type of haircut to where you've had to earn everything you've had. This guy
I
has
actually have. I've earned, especially Sportswire. But
yeah,
there, definitely you earned that victory because Mr.
right there.
RJS is definitely he's probably sleeping. He's a sleeping beauty there right now.
Definitely. Yeah. As a matter of fact, I don't think he's ever been in a deeper sleep. I feel
Yeah,
like
well, that's for sure.
I feel like he had a full night's rest right there, simply because Mr. Comatose put him to sleep, as he has done for
Well,
so
you
many
are
years.
comatose after all.
I
He's
am comatose.
He's in a comatose state.
Exactly. I am comatose. And, I wish he would have just heeded the warning before he had a single match with me, especially a street fight match. I've never lost a street fight match in my entire life. What the fuck was this guy thinking? He wants to challenge me to a street fight match when all of my career I've been wrestling on the hard, cold ground, and this guy has a trampoline for his luxury, and he wants to challenge me to a street fight? Of course, this was how it was going to end. It was always foretold to end like this, because people like me, who have had to street fight their entire life just to live, always beat the guy that has the luxury of wrestling just a sanctioned match.
So this win in your career, does this solidify your career in the backyard wrestling circuit?
I feel like, because of the fact that his fans have put him on such a high pedestal, it has to.
Mm-hmm.
It can't not. As a matter of fact, it cannot only to my own opinion, but it cannot only to people like Jack Delta, to people like CJ Black.
Well, I'm going to say it, Copper Dragon.
Even Copper Dragon.
Copper Dragon, listen, I want to say it. Copper Dragon said to me, the last thing he left with me yesterday before I went on to Sportswire last night, he said, I want you to do something. And I said, yes, Mr. I always call him, yes, Mr. Dragon. I always call him, yes, sir, because, it's Copper Dragon, right?
Yeah.
And even though I shouldn't have to do it, but that's, that's kind of my approach. He said, I want you to do one thing. And I said, yes, Mr. Dragon. He said, I want you to tell BTW that I want to review their matches, and you have been talking about them on Sportswire, and I want to cover them now, and I want to cover what we just saw.
And after you told me that, I got so ecstatic I had to tell the other boys about it, and they were very excited about it.
And I'm very excited that Mr. Dragon actually talked to me to remind me about that.
I sent him a few matches just for his picking, for sure.
Good. I won't ask you how that conversation went, but I will promise you that Mr. Dragon is coming back to Sportswire next month. He's actually coming back. He is requested to come back. And no, we're not going to talk about the last couple of days. We're going to talk about some matches that he is actually very interested in. So that's a very exciting thing there. Very exciting.
Incredibly exciting.
I would hope so. And I think it's also exciting that coming up, because this Monday is my birthday. And obviously, if you're here in the BTW chat, you're welcome to come on and roast me or wish me a happy birthday. Maybe not, but the following Monday. But I got something else. So the following Monday, though, is going to be where I think we're going to do something a little special for BTW. Yes, we're going to bring on Copper Dragon. Yes, he's next month, though, RTG. But let me get to the announcement. So it's obviously, we've been working together these last few months. We've obviously been having a lot of fun. Mr. Frost is here Tuesday night. You're here right now. And the following Monday, we're going to have anybody's welcome from BTW to come on here. But we're going to actually do something a little special. It's going to be BTW Day on Sportswire Radio. BTW Day. That's going to honor BTW, and looking forward to yes, RTG's here once again. He's going to be in the Hall of Fame again because he did win his match, and we'll have on anybody from BTW's welcome to come on and talk and maybe say what happened this past Tuesday by then. And I do want to make that announcement that we'll have BTW Day on Sportswire. Figure sometime before or after Raw. So that's is Raw 2 hours after next week, right? Is Raw 2 hours? Or is that November? I think, right?
I think it's in November. Yeah.
All right. So good news is we got an extra hour because RTG, he's a late bird. He doesn't want to go on at like 7 p.m. his time. He needs a little more time. So, but the point, boy, RTG is gonna now no longer support Sportswire now. After that, he's gonna unsubscribe after that. No, I'm only kidding.
Oh,
only kidding. Only kidding. Oh, this was only kidding. But the good news is that yes, it's gonna be BTW Day. We're very excited. And I can't wait. And we're looking forward to seeing all the guys here. And Jacob Frost is here 10 o'clock Eastern time on Tuesday. So, you get this win. Again, we'll talk about it one more time. You get this victory. And it's a lot. But how do you keep what you've done here with Arches? How do you keep all of that, what you've done physically and emotionally? Because you can't do this every match. You can't have the same hype. I mean, and you've talked about some of the people you want to face. So, I mean, how do we continue?
So that's when you get into a situation where you have to exert yourself immensely emotionally.
Yep.
Even physically.
Believe me, I was there. I was there Wednesday and Thursday.
Yeah. At that point, then you kind of have to take breaks. That's why I'm not focusing on as much on like posting a celebration on my own channel for beating RJS.
Why not though? Why not? Why not celebration? If
why
you've talked about the videos, why not gloat?
And that is simply because of this. Because I knew it was going to happen. Why would I gloat about something that I knew was going to happen the entire time? I'd rather gloat about it before it happens. So when my premonition comes true, it just makes it look that much better. So when it's finally done and over with, I can just rest. I can rest my mind. I can rest my soul. I can rest my body, so I can be ready for the next person that's in front of me, which I guarantee is either going to be, it's either going to be RTG or Frost, because.
But but wouldn't you want RTG next because of the unfinished business and also the fact that you could end his in-ring career?
I would, but at the same time, the last time that I said that, it didn't turn out in my favor. The last time that I said that, I went against Mad Jack, who is the best in BCF, and then on top of that, while I was wrestling
he's their world champion in their promotion.
Yeah. And then while I was wrestling him,
he was their world champion, right? Because it didn't. Did BES win it? BES won the title.
Yes, BES won it from BES. I think it was Steven Storm. But I know that Mad Jack has definitely been a multiple-time champion.
Yeah, so I think BES won the title Labor Day weekend, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
Labor Day weekend. Yeah.
Definitely. I do believe that was when it was. But my thing is,
yes, sir.
Why would I not want you more if I know for a fact that you're not going to have that much time to prepare as you did last time? Because you had months to prepare for that match. You had all of the time that I was fighting Swift. Because, I mean, let's face it. You knew who was going to win that match. I mean, I made Swift tap out in front of his greatest rival of all time. What did you think was going to happen? And then, of course, I took you to the wire physically in our match, so far to the point where you had to get external help such as Gabriel James, and then you had to make sure that television title match was the best it could possibly be going against someone like Mad Jack. Yeah, you had some external help, so of course I'd want you first so I can regain my Continental title and become a triple champion again, as I should be. But at the same time, Jacob Frost is by far one of the best in the yard.
Yes. Yeah,
so
the legacy name, yep.
How sweet would it be after beating RJS to be able to say I also, within that time frame, beat Jacob Frost.
And maybe you catch him at the right time. It's an interesting point. Let me get to some comments before I have a surprise for you. So let's come back
Oh
here.
shit!
I'm way behind.
Surprise.
Yeah, surprise. It's a good one though, I promise you. Well, let's see. RJS beat me this season for the heavyweight championship. Swift beat me twice for the continental championship this season. Like you said, BES is the most talented, and you've lost to me, RTG. RTG's become like
Yes. And as I said, for the reasons before, I don't feel like I need to keep repeating the reasons why
yes,
you beat me. Because everyone knows why you beat me. But I'm not going to keep repeating it because you just want me to feed into your game. And I'm not going to keep feeding into your game, RTG. Here's the
RTG
thing.
reminds me with like today's show. He reminds me of like Once Upon a Time. Alex Trebek was on Jeopardy. No,
Yeah,
and
like he's always asking he's always asking you these baity questions to try to get you into it. Like, yeah,
pretty
exactly.
much, pretty much. Question for you from Mr. Frost: what year are you talking about for that consideration? I don't know what year you're talking about for that consideration.
Hold on, let me try to
Are we
backtrack.
talking about the? I know what he's talking about. I think he's talking about the BYW manias. I think we're talking about, right? Is that correct?
Well, if
We're
we're talking
talking about.
about the BYW manias and if we're talking about the BTW factor into it, they were in the 2017 and 2018 show. They didn't show up for the 2019 show where I did have the greatest opening match of any backyard wrestling show of all time ever on that show, but you decided to no show. And then the very next year,
Oh,
RJS made a big old promo about everyone in the community that he thinks he's better than, and my name popped up, and that's why I'm here.
that's a
So, is
good.
there anything else you'd like to know, Mr. Frost?
Well, we will have more comments. Chat is awake. Delulu land. That was RJS
Delulu.
sitting in the yeah. I did agree that that was a good point. That was actually a good point. He should not have done that. That's a good point in the match. They're missing Jordan Flame. Who's Jordan Flame again? Who is Jordan Flame? Remind me. Apparently there's supposed to be this event called the Backyard Havoc in Bremen, Ohio, and they actually for whatever reason, I don't know why. They actually want me to do commentary for some of these matches. I might have to ask Jordan Flames for advice because I haven't really done commentary for a match. I mean, I've done this on Sportswire, but
You would be so good at it.
I
Oh,
don't know about that. We'll have to find out. Stay tuned. We'll stay tuned, but we'll see. Maybe I'll have to ask Jordan Flames for advice. 10 out of 10 ending. Yes. What's the issue between Jacob Frost and Swift? It's a long story. Jacob Frost is here Tuesday. It's several matches in, and he wants a rubber match. We can talk about that Tuesday,
yeah.
10 o'clock Eastern time. Thank you,
To
Zilla.
cut it short, yes.
Yes, for sure. We're trying to cut it. But no,
Yeah.
it's a good question though.
Yeah.
And Jacob Cross answers it. Bring it on, Copper Dragon. Yes, and he is going to bring it on. He's
I
definitely going to
am
bring it on.
excited.
And enter the dragon.
I am so excited.
Yes, he was very. I was like, yes, Mr. Dragon. And so yes, sorry, Comatose, but I like, and appreciate RJS. Probably
And
because
that's
of the hair.
completely fine. You have to love and
She
appreciate.
likes the hair though. That's what it is. She's enamored with the
It
hair. I
has.
bet.
I mean, it has to be. I mean, how easy was it to love RJS after he got his head shaved against someone like Derek Destroyer?
I wasn't going to bring. And by the way, Derek the Destroyer was supposed to come on Sportswire about a month ago, but he's a horse. We know he's a horse jockey, so we have to
Yeah.
hope it'll be next month.
Which, of course, by the way, I got to say this right now. Derek Destroyer is one of the best, in my opinion, of all time in the yard. I have.
Yeah, well, he wanted to come on
respect.
actually, but unfortunately, he's in the middle of the end of the season there. But we'd like to still. We're going to bring him back on. It just unfortunately that's
very
kinda,
similar. He's a very similar cat to me. I think.
yeah, very interesting life. He's had a very interesting life. I was speaking with him. We spoke a few times, and it's really excited. Some of us work. It may be from home, but unless you want interruptions, it has to be like, yeah, we're gonna go with that. We don't want interruptions. Speaking of people that are very impressive overseas, who I did an Instagram live with, who's been on Sportswire multiple times. Actually, he was in your chair last weekend. Yoshi Matsuda, who did a great job with our friends over at Wrestling Zero. They have PXW, and what they're doing now is they're actually almost like training the new generation. They were like so cool. They had like promo class. They were getting everybody and kind of figuring out their character development. And Yoshi wrestled and really cool stuff there. Check them out. Wrestling Zero with an X.
I definitely will.
Yes, we'll take care of that. I don't know who needs humbling, but maybe I think he's talking about RJS. He's talking about RJS there.
You could be talking about me. I mean, I
I
talk a lot.
don't know. Well, we got people here. The chat's popping. I think people tonight want to talk. I think that's why we've had so many comments. I think people tonight really do want to get back to normal. I think it's
Good.
time. I feel like tonight's the first normal day in a while on Sportswire, and I kind of think that that's kind of why you're getting this many comments. People are like,
I
it's
was about to
time.
say 83 comments. That's quite a bit of comments. Holy
It's
hell!
a lot. Well, Wednesday and Thursday had like 80,000. I mean, it was like people even told. I did one Instagram live and somebody said you didn't read all the comments. I was like, well, did you
Well, I
not see
mean,
what's
it's
going
kind of hard to
on?
keep up. But,
Yeah,
like,
you
yeah.
got to. But today it feels back to normal. Hi to the champion, the leader of the clan, Matsuda Matsuda. He writes something in Japanese. A god, huh? And maybe there's. By the way, actually, let me get to this here because actually, Mr. Matsuda, he does have something out there. I'll get to the surprise in a minute or two because in your chair last week on Sportswire, he was talking about challenges in the United States. Now he's coming. Unfortunately, the distance is not going to work because he's coming to Boston, I think, the end of November into early December. So he's going to Boston. I think he's going to be maybe in Philadelphia at some point. But he was
Oh,
looking,
really?
yeah, he was looking to wrestle a match with somebody from the United States. Now, Jack Delta was a name he had on his list, but Mr. Delta is out on the shelf.
Yeah.
And he had mentioned Big Man Cam. Big Man Cam is here Friday night, right after SmackDown, the ROW champion. So I could ask Big Man Cam about this, but I don't know how it would work because you're in, the great state of Idaho and he's coming to Boston. But that there you have it.
Well, I'll say this, Tom.
I don't know, right?
They
I don't know.
I call it the tour of. I call it the Comatose tour for a reason, and
And he's
that's
from
all. That's
Australia, by
all
the way.
I'll say.
And he's from Australia, so that would kind of be wild. Australia, Matsuda, 16-time Wrestling Zero undisputed champion, multiple champion, Comatose, the BTW BYW interpromotional champion. So
That'd be
we'll
fun
have to
for the
see.
books.
I would certainly be one I love to promote. The way he carries himself, the way he articulates, very well done. Very
I
well done.
appreciate that.
Yes, and Mr. Matsuda is a good interviewer. Yes.
You as well. I would definitely say so myself. I've watched you for a while.
Yes, we definitely like that. So what's my excuse? I had a tag team match and a triple threat all-out war, won both matches. You faced one of the BCF3 and couldn't overcome a little kid. Just admit it, I'm better, RTJ.
I did overcome him though. I won that match. I just didn't win a match against you when you and your grandson
Okay.
decided to press all your weight on my shoulders and I couldn't even kick out even if I wanted to.
A lot of weight there, a lot of girth, right? A lot of girth.
I would definitely say so. I like a tree stump.
Stop. Andre and Amelie from Future Atlanta Pro Wrestling wanted to say you. That was the humbling. Unless you wanted to say.
I kind of figured. Yeah, a lot of people have tried.
And he's a champion in his promotion as well. He's also kind of like Matsuda, an artist. He does speaking, he does rapping, he does a lot of different things. Yep, he's very talented. Yes, Andre's going to be back on here probably in about 2 weeks or so, give or take, probably 2 weekends from now. So Andre will be in your chair. Figure right around this time.
Maybe you can write me a little diss track and see how that works for you.
Well, Matsuda also does drill. He's actually a guy with a hit. He's got a single with like 100,000 records sold out there, or views and something like that. He's got an album coming out. So Matsuda could also do that. He
I
could.
appreciate it. I love, yeah.
Well, that's what we did. Yeah.
Ditto.
They won't tell you about what we do on Sportswire with these things, but they'll remember the other things. But yes, there you go. We do connect people. I'll connect you with certainly both guys after we're off the air.
Absolutely.
I'll take care of that. Yeah, I'll take care of that. Yep, we'll do that. Yep. I don't know why this has popped up, but I think it's time now to give you the surprise. Speaking of that, there is somebody that would like to say something to you because he wants to congratulate you, and he's very impressed with you tonight. That is the man that some would say would be confused with John Walsh of America's Most Wanted. That would be none other than ROW owner James Taylor. Yes, the legendary James Taylor. James, I thought you might be getting ready for another episode of like America's Most Wanted after what you showed me earlier today, or your last full appearance on Sportswire. But hopefully you're here to share some news about the wrestling ring rather than maybe the criminal rap sheets of multiple people out there.
That was more of a one-time thing, Tony. That
Thank you,
wasn't,
James.
you know.
To do the
Anybody
Denzel
that's
Washington,
anybody knows that I'm all about wrestling. I eat,
and to
sleep,
do
and
the
breathe this
Denzel
business.
Washington emoji.
Oh yeah.
How you doing, James? So what's on your mind here? Tell me what you want to say to Comatose.
I just wanted to come on and introduce myself. I am Taft Taylor. I'm the nemesis James Taylor. It's nice to officially meet you, Mr. Comatose, even though I can barely see you. How you
I'm
doing?
sorry, my bad.
No, you're fine. You're fine. You got the little log cabin that looks like you're setting in. You got the little fire going in the background. Very comfortable. Very relaxing. I get that, but
We're very
it's
relaxed today, James. This is the most relaxed Sportswire show I've done in about 4 days. So
you
much
got
more
me
relaxed.
ready to get the graham crackers, the marshmallows, the Hershey's. I'm about to make some s'mores.
Hell yeah.
So, but hey, it's nice to meet you. I just wanted to come on here, congratulate you. I've seen a little bit of your work. I'm impressed. So keep doing what you're doing. And there it is, So
Thank you. I highly appreciate that coming from someone that is such a legend like yourself. Truly, truly, and honestly, as a student of backyard wrestling, it is an honor to hear any type of praise coming out of your mouth right now. I really and truly appreciate it.
you're welcome. I didn't expect that response, but thank you nonetheless. I
Because James, I
appreciate
think
that.
over the last 2 years, James, you're usually expecting something combative. That's all. But Comatose is coming
Yeah.
off a huge victory over RJS, a very respected man in the yard, defeated a man that you used to employ or sort of still employ in Jack Delta. And Comatose has come a long way. He had 4 years away from being in the yard. He had a journey. He came back about 5 months or so ago, give or take, and he had 3 championships at one time, still holds 2. So I think his journey is a lot more maybe humbling than maybe others that have been here before. And I think maybe it makes him different than some of the people you've seen here on the stream over the past 2 years.
I
Definitely, definitely.
I'd say so, and also simply for the fact that I don't forget where all of this came from. I can't be comatose with people like Taft Taylor. I can't be comatose without people like Cage. I can't be comatose without the OG backyard wrestlers. The OG backyard wrestlers are the entire reason why backyard wrestling is such a movement that it is today. So if I was to not give respect to someone like this man right here, that would be disrespectful to the entire community.
I'm I'm kind of at a lot. For once, I'm kind of stumped. I'm used to. Thank you.
That's
I
going on
appreciate that.
TikTok, James. That's going on TikTok. I'm telling you, that's going to go on TikTok.
Do it. Go ahead, post it. Tag me in it. What's great about that comatose is I mean, I appreciate that, and it really means a lot. It's mutual respect. I'm used to getting on here, and somebody is either cower down or they're ready to want to go to war
I
with
think
words
after
with
the
me.
last 72 hours, James, I think people really just like they want peace at this point.
Yeah, and that's
Yeah,
fine. No, that's great. That's exactly what I would want. Um, so if it ever came down to you and me in the ring, it'd probably just be a friendly competition. You know what I
a-
mean?
absolutely.
Old lion versus a younger lion.
Yes, sir.
Type situation.
And James, did you know
Um,
that Mr. Comatose actually he kills his own food. He actually is like he is a hunter, a buncher almost. It's so fascinating. He plows his own snow and cuts his own trees. And he's almost like Davy Crockett almost. You Davy Crockett rather than Comatose?
Sometimes when I feel like it.
where are you from exactly, Comatose?
So I am from the great state of Idaho. I was born in Idaho. I was born in the heart of McCall, Idaho, where we get 12 feet walls of snow everywhere. But I have traveled throughout the country to places like North Carolina and Georgia. Because unfortunately for myself, if you stay complacent in one spot forever, you then become ignorant to other people's livelihood, and then you can't fully understand how they live. So in my opinion, it's much better to travel and understand people's livelihood as opposed to just staying complacent and fighting for your own beliefs. You know what I mean?
Uh, that makes perfect sense. So, I like Idaho. I get a lot of my potatoes from there,
I knew
and
you were going to say
I
the
was
Idaho
waiting for
potato
I
it.
one.
I like that though. I've never seen 12 inches of snow. I've seen the most amount of snow I've ever seen in my life
Oh,
is
12
maybe
feet.
Oh, 12
feet.
feet. My bad. I haven't even seen 12 inches. No, wait, yeah, I have. What am I talking about? Yeah, 12 feet. I've
We
never
got
seen.
24. Actually, well, New York City, when I was a kid in Brooklyn, we had a storm. It was 24 inches in 1996. I was a little kid, and we had a snowstorm of 20. And they actually closed the New York City public schools for almost 4 days. That would be 24.
Nice.
And then with 20. Oh, I was happy. I actually remember like people walking on top of cars. It was in Bay Ridge, Brooklyn, and people were walking over cars. It was like, oh my goodness. It was like we had another storm, I think, with like 28 inches. But other than
Woo,
that,
shit.
21.
I
Yeah,
think the most amount of snow I've ever seen is maybe 2 feet, and that's it.
that's well, it's 20 inches is 2 feet. That's what it is. You get 2 feet, 28 inches.
Oh. I thought you said 20 feet for some
That's-
reason.
No,
I
no,
must
come
be out
on.
of it.
New York City,
I
we ain't
think
getting 2
instead of the Wi-Fi tonight, it's my brain. Shit.
I'll tell you both what. That's shit I shovel out of my yard.
Probably figured that. Probably figured.
Nice.
Mr. Comatose, what if I said to you in a few minutes there was another surprise for you?
Oh dear Lord, you're.
They passed the international background check.
I mean, I'd hope so. I've never slept with an underage woman.
Thank you. We really appreciate that, Nuts. I really appreciate that so much. That thank God, because we would really hope at this point, we wouldn't have to.
Yeah,
ask
I sleep with people my mom's age, so that's not a problem.
Thank you for that. We really appreciate that. We really thank you for telling us that. I hope to never have to ask that again. But
Never.
obviously,
I'm glad I got that through.
What do you want to ask Comatose before I bring in another surprise before we move on to the show? And I think we pretty much
more like
BTW stuff. Yep.
Do you prefer wrestling on the ground? Do you prefer wrestling on the trampoline? Have you ever been in a ring? Because I've done all three.
So for me, I would prefer to do it in a ring, absolutely, just because of the variety you would have with move sets and flow within the ring, just depending on personnel's style, of course. But as far as my experience has gone, I like wrestling on the ground more, simply for the fact that it just is more real than anything else that you could possibly do on a trampoline, in my opinion. Like all of the moves, you're gonna feel that the next day. It's all as brutal as it looks. It's all you have to be as incredibly enduring. Wait, what? Wait, he's 1-0 against Old Lions.
You're 0-1 against RTG. RTG is the general manager of BTW.
It's embarrassing because this guy can't even remember where his underwear is in the house.
That's enough for Comatose. We love you, but that was enough for me. After the last few days, I appreciate that, but thank you for letting us not know that.
Yeah, I'm sorry, but
I think it's time. I do have a surprise, and I want to bring this international surprise because it's kind of tonight of surprises, but in a good way. I think it's a good way after the last couple of nights in the wrestling world, but I'd like to bring him on if he'd like me to. I think he's waiting, but I'm going to bring him on. I think I can bring him on, right? Can I bring him on?
Shit.
It ain't up to me. This is y'all.
Well, I got the Shogun, the Oyabun, the legendary 16-time undisputed champion, 6-time tag team champion in Wrestling Zero. He is also the man that's helping organize PXW. What a heck of a show. But I watched the show, by the way, yesterday. I watched Ace Reed's BWDU High Madness, episode 22 today as well. And I've got the man that, what a revolutionary show they had yesterday. They were basically training the prospective wrestlers how to speak. We had a match. We had development, character work. And Mr. Matsuda is obviously the Shogun. He's the Oyabun. And he wanted to come in and say hello. And Mr. Matsuda.
He disappeared.
We're live, Mr. Matsuda. Mr. Matsuda, you know the deal. You've been on Sportswire multiple times. There you go, Mr. Matsuda. What's going on here? You left me. You left me hanging at the altar. I thought that was.
Oh, that's funny.
He's actually.
Can't hear you, kid. Can't hear you,
Mr. Matsuda.
I think your mic's muted.
Mr. Boy, this is fun tonight. I think this will be a fun one.
So while we wait for him to fix his technical difficulties,
there we go. Oyaban, the Shogun.
Domyo Tomonotachi. Bow to your shogun. Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
おはようございます。 Comatose, I want to take 2 seconds out of this to say thank you for what you're doing to the industry. I appreciate your work. I've watched BTW endless times. I appreciate you and what you're doing. Keep doing it because you are the perfect example of American backyard wrestling.
Thank you. Oh, dude, you have no idea how heart touching that is. That's incredible. Thank you so
And
much.
Taff, I mean, the challenge, who knows? Who knows? I mean, who knows?
knows?
When I come to America, who knows?
You didn't
But no.
expect me to respond in Japanese, did you, kid?
No, my friend. No, my friend,
Hey,
I did not.
I've known you for almost 2 years. You've been on Sportswire like 1,000 times. I never knew you spoke Japanese.
Well, my wife taught me because she's
Ah,
very big into anime culture, and she took Japanese. So
Oh, that's right.
Well, and I
incredible.
appreciate the love for the culture.
And
oh
also,
yeah,
And I got a
love it.
surprise of my
You are
own.
here.
I have a surprise of my own.
Oh
Oh,
my
man.
goodness! Wait! Take this off. Oh my God! We've got the trainees. They are here. Boy,
Robbie
you really have-
Ryan and Alex are here to train
Robbie
today.
Ryan is always now on Sportswire. He was in the chat like 3 times in the last 2 days, and boy, you really come. You know, we're not having a fight right now, but okay, fine, we'll take it. But Mr. Matsuda, you certainly come prepared. I appreciate that.
No, I always come prepared for you guys, and I make sure there's surprises galore.
Oh
These
my God, the
two
door
are ready
closed.
to work hard. You know, we're about to make history with PXW again today. So, again, I want to say thank you for
with
this
all due
opportunity.
respect, Mr. Matsuda, I have to say, and if you take it as a compliment, I hope so. But why do I feel like I'm getting ready to listen to Thor talk to me constantly?
It's kind of just a mix
the
between.
hammer and everything.
I mean, it's just kind of a mix between my accents, I guess. Obviously, I have that.
You
kind
should
of
do like
weird-
voiceover work, by the way.
Oh, I do. I
well,
voiced for
well,
a few.
gee, I just
You
spoiled-
guys ain't gonna believe this, but I do voice for a few anime. I'm not gonna say
Yeah,
what.
you know what's
They're
funny? I
small
was
projects.
watching yesterday's show, and I'm like, why aren't I asked Matsuda if he's done voiceover work? There you go.
I can't say what projects they are
Yeah,
coming.
don't
but
on this
yeah.
platform. Please don't.
Don't want to spoil.
Yeah.
But yes, you know, my voice is very unique, and I think that's what makes me stand apart from, you know, the rest of the industry. And not even that, just the work that we've put in here in Wrestling Zero. And I mean, the boys
Absolutely.
behind me, you know, they're ready to represent and do the hardest they can. And PXW went off without a hitch. You know, we even had Ryusuke Hatamoto return as commentary. I mean, man, it was
Japanese work
crazy.
was so cool. It was just what I really enjoyed the show. I got a chance to watch PXW and also Ace's show earlier today, and just really please, if you're out there right now in the chat, you haven't yet, go hit the sub button for our friends at Wrestling Zero. I want to get them to 100 subscribers tonight. They're at 93. If you are here for the first time, please support those that support us, those who are doing it for the right reasons. Mr. Matsuda and I were on an Instagram live Thursday morning, my time, Thursday evening, his time. We were talking about a lot of things, and he's been very supportive of a lot of things we've been doing here the last couple of months. And I want to support those that are doing things on the right side of history. And let's make sure we support those that support us. And Mr. Matsuda and his company are definitely doing that. So please, if you're here for the first time, go hit that sub button for our friends in Wrestling Zero.
And I just want to take away from this. Taff, Comatose, I have to dip. But when I come to America,
you know,
anytime,
maybe I should come across the pond and come to
Whoa!
Australia, because I've been really wanting to go there my
You
whole
have?
life anyways.
I wanted to go to
Then let's do it.
too.
The
He's
Shogun.
got less than 6 months left. James, this is your chance.
6 months left. Anyone on Sportswire in the world, Comatose, James Taylor, anyone, come to Japan, come to Australia, or I'll come to you.
Anzilla.
6 months. Where are you going after 6 months?
Put this on the
His career's
line.
ending. In-ring career is ending.
I will retire either champion, or I will retire an old man like Triple H is and sit behind backstage.
How old are you?
Oh man, I can't let.
I'm 25, but I've got the body of a 60-year-old.
He had a broken neck, and he had a very bad neck injury, actually.
Indeed.
Oh, okay.
So I'm on the last legs. That's why I'm training these boys.
He actually was going to retire, but he's on one more run.
Are you in a ring or on a trampoline?
Trampoline.
Mhm.
It's a very.
We're looking. We're looking at getting a ring, though.
No,
We're
it's
making
okay.
the strides.
I
We're making
support trampoline
strides.
wrestling. I mean, if you look
Thank
on my
you.
channel, I've been posting my
Oh,
trampoline.
actually,
Yes, no, I've
before
been
you get
paying
Mr.
attention.
Matsuda, I actually one more thing I forgot to mention. I have to mention it. Copper Dragon said get in touch with him, and he said that he's really going to watch the show, the debut PXW show, and he said please get in touch with him. I spoke with him actually at length, and I forgot to
Okay.
mention to speak.
Will
Please speak
do.
to Mr. Dragon. Yes,
But
please.
Comatose, before I leave, I want to say thank you so much for what you do. And if you ever want a shot at the Wrestling Zero Undisputed title, you know where to find me.
Yes,
Taff,
sir.
the same goes to you. Anyone
You too,
wants
Zilla.
war with a shogun,
I mean, I might take that
bring it.
title from you real fast. So, but hey, you never know.
We'll see.
You should check your channel out. I got you 4 new subscribers. You're welcome.
Appreciate
Hey,
it.
see,
Thank you
Mr.
so much.
Matsuda? See, Mr. Matsuda, we do take care of our people on Sportswire. The ones on the
May
right
I
side of history.
may I
We're on
leave
the
a
right
message
side
in
of history. We take care
Japanese?
of our people.
ようこそ、上名友たち、将軍と松田組。僕は松田義松。ブロセルゼロ、アンディスピューティドチャンピオン。ゼ、G、O、A、T。ありがとうございました。スポーツワイヤーだ。タフテラ、コマトス。ありがとう。じゃあね。
Arigato.
And by the way, Mr. Matsuda, thank you very much for the plugs of Sportswire and the Hall of Fame on the show yesterday. Forgot to
No
mention.
problem at all. No problem at all.
Yeah, that was the legendary Yoshimatsu Matsuda, who's a 16-time undisputed champion. And they have it there. And Zilla also now wants to say her dream opponents are Ace Reed and Yoshimatsu Matsuda. So there you go. They have it there. All right, fellas. So you met Mr. Matsuda. Obviously, we'll go from here. So what do you guys want to say here as we get ready to close the show? What can I say for it? Also, Andre Anamali believes in the Shogun as well. He believes in the Shogun. So
There you go. There you go. Mr. Comatose, do you got any questions for me?
I do have a question for you, actually. So
Anything you want.
So here you
Almost
have been
everything.
around the best of the best of the best for years, decades. What is that one thing that you see in a talent that helps you realize, or like lets you realize that they could be that one for you in that time period, like as in the face of where you are currently at? What is that one factor?
Really, this might sound different. I don't know. It's kind of an overwhelming presence, like a presence that's like when they walk into a room, it's like, oh shit, who the hell is that? And then when they step up to me face to face, and they're man enough to step up to me and not blink an eye, not turn their head, not look down when they're looking at me, like they look at me eye to eye, face to face, man to man. And this ain't really character mode. This is legit. If I meet a guy who will look at me and not show no fear, I have hope for him. And then when I go 5, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 minutes, however long it is in the match, to see if they can keep up, despite me being an old lion, if they can keep up with me and they show me who they really are, that's my deciding fact. That's where I'm like, that kid's got it. That guy's got it, whoever it is. Back in the day, on the trampoline days, with a lot of my early stuff I've been posting, I used to think it was this guy called the Enforcer. He was really inspired by The Rock, but he was like almost match to match with me. But it was literally only for 1 year, sadly, and that was the whole year of 2000. But from 2001 to 2002, it just got a little bit blank. It just seemed like I was on top, not to sound egotistical. But then when 2004, 2005 hit, my arch rival was this guy named Phoenix. And y'all, a lot of people have seen the matches, but if
Yeah.
you watch those matches, Phoenix he wasn't as big as me, but he was the Shawn Michaels to me being the Undertaker. He was literally, he knew everything I was going to do before I did it. I knew everything he was going to do before he did it. When you can find a dance partner that you know better than anybody, like the back of your hand, that's when you know that's the guy.
Fair enough.
For new guys, really what I look at now is just, are they going to show intimidation when they step into the ring with me? Are they going to show me respect when they get in the ring with me? Are they going to show me something? And that's all I look for is just that it factor. Like if you wanted to step into the ring with me, whether it's on the ground and a trampoline, I would hope that you wouldn't be all giddy giddy. I hope that you would look me serious in the eye and say, all respect, I'm gonna beat you today, or you're
Oh
gonna
yeah.
show me
No,
that
no,
you
no.
can keep up.
Comatose, he turns it on. But I got one suggestion before I let you gentlemen run, and we'll close the show. Nemesis sessions, if it ever returned, Comatose would be one of your best guests in a while, by the way. Comatose would be one. Comatose can talk. Comatose comes on the Sportswire, and he can talk. And speaking of people that could also talk, we have the legendary, everyone's a legend, Steven Storm is in the house. Good old Steven Storm. But you should have Comatose on the Nemesis session sometime. You should.
We should do something like that for sure.
You should. Comatose could really talk. He would actually. Andre Natalie, another name you could probably have on here. But yeah, I mean that would be interesting. You and Comatose, that'd be one for the ages.
Maybe I need to break out the podcast equipment, get it ready. And
what do you mean? You always have the equipment. You're here on Sportswire all the time. You always know the equipment's around.
Yeah, you're right.
Are you gonna, James? Are you gonna be here Monday? Because my birthday is on Monday, and I was letting people.
If I'm invited to the party, yeah,
I was gonna say you both like to attend. You're welcome to attend and wish me happy birthday. Would you like to? I mean, you don't have to. You could obviously do something else. I mean, you're more than welcome to. You're welcome to not come to my birthday.
Yeah, I'm gonna come to your birthday party. I'm gonna bring you a birthday present. I'm gonna say happy
just
birthday.
Just bring yourself, because we really we don't want any more Instagram posts with gifts and those things.
No, none of that's gonna happen. Don't worry.
I'm gonna do the Denzel emoji again.
I mean, I could come up there to New York and give you a stunner for free.
I'll pay you for that. How about that? I'll pay you. Wasn't there one of those episodes where I think somebody paid Stone Cold? Was it like if somebody wanted the stunner? Wasn't there one of those moments? One of those old
CM Punk? It was in 2011. Austin did the segment where he just came out and talked for a moment.
That's the one I was thinking of. That was the one I was thinking of. Yeah.
Yeah, and then he was just sitting backstage, and Punk goes up to him. He's like, he just saw him sitting there twiddling his thumbs. He's like, "What are you doing?" And he's like, "Damn, son, what do you think? I did my segment. I ain't got. I'm just watching the show." He goes, "You got anything else?" "No, I did my segment. I'm not doing nothing else." He goes, "You want to come out and give a couple of stunners?" Well, damn, man, nobody's ever asked me that before.
I think you should. I tell you, before we go, I got to plug Big Man Cam, by the way, for Friday. He's back on Sportswire. You should come on and try to give Big Man Cam a stunner on Friday.
I mean, that'd be too easy.
No, it wouldn't.
All I gotta do is kick him in his little jewels and then put his big ass head on this shoulder right here and snap him like that.
He's a very, very. I'm going to certainly talk about on Friday, but let me get to a couple of comments before we move on here. Zillow wants to say I'm rooting for the BCF3, Mad Jack, Mickey D, and Steven. So, which, by the way, it's a loser leaves brand match this coming Tuesday, BTW. I'm going to be there 6 o'clock. I'm going to be there in the chat. I know Zilla and RTG will be there with me alongside Steven Storm, who's one of the competitors, who obviously Steven Storm has faced Comatose and he's lost to Comatose. Comatose is a good competitor, but I just want to say this to him. He beat me twice, but next time I have a surprise for him. And the BTW guys are here the following Monday. So maybe Mr. Storm, we'll talk about that there. Yes,
how many surprises could you have for one person?
I don't have Steven Storm coming onto Sportswire right now because I am going to close the show in a few minutes.
No, I'm just talking about him in general.
Well, I'll say this: if he doesn't win though on Tuesday with the BCF3, wouldn't be the surprise be on him because he'll be the loser leaves.
I'm not the one to put myself in that situation. Good luck. Salute to you.
That's a duly noted. And thank you, Zilla. I hope you'll be here Monday night to say happy birthday to me. I do appreciate that. Also, Yoshi Matsuda wants to say, Mr. Matsuda, thank you for all believing in me. Kami's blesses me all. I will be there. I will be training, but I'll talk soon. Thank you very much. And Jacob Frost says I better have a surprise on Tuesday. I mean, unless, well, Mr. Frost, do you want to meet James Taylor on Tuesday? Is that what you want? I mean,
I better have a surprise. He's salty.
I'll find you a surprise. I'll find you a surprise. I mean, what kind of surprise? Hopefully, it's a surprise wrestling wise, not outside of the rush. Because we know, unfortunately, we had a surprise Wednesday and Thursday, and that surprise wasn't very good, right? So we want to have some good.
Longhorn Steakhouse. That's what he's looking for.
Well, I don't know if I can give him Longhorn Steakhouse. Otherwise, he said, "Sure, thank you for that." Hey, Mad Jack made that decision. He doesn't control what I do. But if he loses the match, though, he can't be in BGW though.
Yeah, that's all y'all. That's what I say. You did agree to that. You're in the
All right,
match.
well let's get to closing thoughts. Comatose, what a show. We needed this tonight. We're back on track. We're back to normal. Thank God for that. All is well. I pass the baton to you. And anything else you want to say here after a monumental week you've had, which very well could solidify you as the man right now. I pass the baton to you and give you some closing thoughts.
Well, I want to take this moment and take this baton, and I want to say to all the people that are coming up right now that if you believe in yourself enough, it is very, very possible to be wherever you want to be. If you've looked up to Jack Delta, you could be where Jack Delta is. If you've looked up to me, you could be where I am. If you've looked up to this man right here, Taft Taylor, you could be where he's at. But you have to put in the work. Because if you don't put in the work, all you are is simply a laughing stock in this community that is going to be poked fun at for years to come. So put in the work, keep your head down, respect the elders of the yard, and you will go far.
I definitely agree with all of that. And since I'll let you go last, James, Comatose and ROEW, Michigan. I mean, he's in Idaho. If there's a will and a way, I mean,
There is
pretty impressive. Pretty impressive there, right? Michigan. I mean, Jacob Frost maybe is the other guy. Michigan. I mean, you know, just saying. I know you're obviously a busy man, Mr. Taylor. You're trying to obviously go back to being, you know, less away from being John Walsh from America's Most Wanted to now focusing on
my
building
Lord have mercy. No.
Yeah, you know, it's okay. It's okay. But you know,
Mr. Comatose, everything you said, I respect. I nothing but respect. But one thing, even when it comes to the older guys like myself, you don't have to keep your head down. You know, look us eye to eye. That gives me the most respect is when you acknowledge me, not in a Roman Reigns fashion, but like you're looking at me because I'm looking right back at you and I acknowledge you for the fact that you're showing me respect. So that's how you get your respect. Respect isn't given. We've heard that a million times. Respect
Sure.
is earned. And you've earned my respect. You know, I haven't faced you personally, but just talking to you, you've earned my respect. So, and that's to anybody else that I talk to whenever I meet them on here or whenever I meet them in person. Just be respectful. I mean, we're supposed to be a big community.
Yeah.
All wrestling matters, and it's supposed to matter. You know, everybody's supposed to be together, and we're like, you know, it's supposed to be like a family in a sort of way.
I think we are though. I
Some
really
people
do. I
some
think we are though.
people I think Tom understands what I say when I say that some people seem to don't think so, but I mean if they don't like it, that's just on them. The
Yep.
all wrestling matters. It doesn't mean that these guys need to go out and make a whole bunch of titles and stuff. What the all wrestling matters movement means to me is that everybody that's in this because they love it, because
Yep.
it's their heart and their passion, not just to go out and play wrestler. They're here because they really love wrestling. That's where it makes the most sense to me. But
Yes,
other
sir.
than that, there it is.
Great stuff there. Look forward to seeing what the future is. Very excited about BTW. One more time, BTW will be this Tuesday, 6 o'clock, episode 138. You're going to see Comatose will be there. Jacob Frost is going to be here Tuesday at 10. We're also going to have that loser leaves brand match, which I still don't know why Steven Storm was a part of that. He'll talk to me about it. I know right after Steven's here the following week. I'm pretty sure Steven will talk about that. It's also BTW Day, Monday the 14th. Very excited about that. So all great stuff. And tomorrow, Chase Wakefield is here tomorrow night. Chase Wakefield, an interesting name who I know is going to always have something interesting to say. Chase Wakefield is here, and he's got a couple of announcements. Plus, he's going to talk about whatever else he wants to say on his mind. So it'll be an interesting, kind of like Comatose. Chase Wakefield's kind of a talk or get away like Comatose. It'll be interesting to see what he has to say. He returns to Sportswire for the first time in a few months, and it'll be good to see what he has on his agenda. And Monday will be my birthday, so great stuff there with that. Please follow BTW and put the banner up here one more time. Also, congratulations to James on 1,500 plus, going on to 2,000 subscribers with Taffy's Lounge. This is BTW. In fact, I'm going to put it up as to close the show out. I'm going to give you a plug, James, because there's a bunch of people still on YouTube. So if you are on YouTube, I see you out there. Let me go support those that support us. And let me put up James's YouTube channel, the new one, because you know what? A reason I want to put this up here because James Taylor right now is almost at 1,600 subscribers on Taffy's Lounge. And I want to get him to say, I like to get to 1,000. I lost some. That's okay. But if you are here right now, go sub to Taffy's Lounge. He's literally almost at 1,600 subscribers. So if you are here, hit the sub button for him. Today could be the day. And let him get more subscribers. Don't worry. I might lose more subscribers, but just the ones that will be lost. Now, well, I'm actually having fun with it now at this point. But if you want to gain some subscribers. Yeah, well, it's okay. It's all good. But obviously, if you are here, go with the sub button for James and Taffy's Lounge. You want some lo-fi beats, some Weather Channel-like music, and everything else in between. Please go out and support him and support our friends at BTW. And Comatose, congratulations on a great win. Congratulations on a hell of a match. Congratulations on a hell of a run. I'm going to be watching Tuesday's show. I'm very excited about it. I will be in the chat as I always am. And James, I was in the ROBW chat on Friday alongside Zilla. I will definitely be looking forward to seeing you here. Probably, maybe even tomorrow. Who knows? Chase Wakefield always seems to love what you do, so you never know. Maybe we'll see you then. You're always
really.
He does. Chase is a big fan of yours. Big fan of yours.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, he is. He knows everybody. Chase Wakefield, like for a guy that hasn't been in all these feds, he knows like everybody. It's like kind of comical. Cool. Yes. Cool. I'm very excited about that. You guys are welcome to be back with me on Monday as well to roast me on my birthday. Hopefully Comatose could actually roast me because he actually is a butcher. So he would know how to actually cook a roast and prepare it
properly.
Yeah, properly. I wouldn't know how to do anything. Although I do have a fond memory, Comatose, with my father when he was alive on Sunday dinners growing up in Brooklyn. He would take the knives and go like this with them.
Sharpen them?
I thought that was always like the good part. He would get the thing out. He'd have no problem with it, with the blood and the meat. He would do it.
It's
was
like
for
eye candy watching that happen.
Yeah, he was big with that. He was big with it was roast beef. He would do it. Then it was pork roast. He would do the pork roast. We were starting to do better when I was getting into high school, and we would have pork roast. He was like, "Well, that's the treat," because we would, when I was like in elementary school, going into middle school, but when we got into high school, we got better. We were moving up the ladder, so we would have like the pork roast and the roast beef. He would put it out and chop it. So that's okay. Now I just go on Sportswire and put my mutton chops out there. That could probably take care of the rest of it. But thank you, everybody. We've had a lot of fun. Thank you, Comatose. Thank you to BTW for all of your support. James, thank you for doing your John Walsh, America's Most Wanted impersonation for the good reasons. And we'll see everybody tomorrow or today. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Go follow these guys. And my name is the Reverend Tom Bryce, your voice figuratively and literally. We're all Wrestling Matters on the road to 1,000 subscribers. And good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are on the number one Global Radio